Verse 5. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him and said to him, Zacchaeus, make haste, come down, for today I must stay at your house. Wow, just think about that. Zacchaeus didn't have to speak a word to get the attention of Jesus. Zacchaeus didn't have to pray. Zacchaeus didn't have to fast. Zacchaeus didn't need to know the bishop or the apostle or the prophet. Zacchaeus didn't need to know the elders or the protocol of how to see the King of Kings. He created a strategy where he became the center of attraction for Jesus to stop and look straight at him. What are you doing so that Jesus can stop and look and talk to you? He didn't utter a word. I love the strategy of Zacchaeus. He didn't have to say a word. He just needed to position himself in a place where he could see and to be seen by the person who mattered the most. He put himself in a place. And because he put himself in a place to the Creator who knows all things, who knows all truth, who's omnipotent, he is all-knowing. He stood there, and Jesus said to him, Zacchaeus, make haste, come down. Today I must stay at your house. Because Jesus could see his heart. He could read what was in his heart. So immediately Zacchaeus comes down. Now obviously the religious folk were not happy to see the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the one who came for them. They didn't know that Jesus came for everyone. Jesus doesn't discriminate. He came for the Republican, for the Democrats. He came for the whoever you think is the worst sinner, whoever you think is the best sinner, whoever you think is the worst or the best. He came for all. Because God so loved the world. The gospel is for everyone. Verse 6 tells us, so he made haste and came down and received him joyfully. But when they saw it, they all complained, saying, he has gone to be a guest with the man who is a sinner. But they missed the point that Zacchaeus had superior strategy. He used his brain to make sure he aligned himself. He put himself in position so that the one that matters the most can see who he was. Verse 8, then Zacchaeus stood and said to the Lord, look, Lord, I give half of my goods to the poor. And if I have taken anything from anyone by false accusation, I restore fourfold. Many of us are struggling trying to witness and preach and change people's lives. Your job is to bring somebody to the presence of Jesus Christ and let Jesus do the rest of the work. Zacchaeus didn't need the elders, he didn't need the ushers, he didn't need the counseling team to tell him what was wrong with him. He knew what was wrong with him himself. What he needed was audience with Jesus Christ. Our job as Christians, if you call yourself a Christian, is to take somebody and introduce them to Jesus and let Jesus do his work. When they meet the true Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the one who died on the cross of Calvary, the one who bled and shed his blood for you, for your sins, for my sins, the one who made it possible for you and I to become a new creation, to enter into a new covenant with him. When you do that, everything else will begin to fall away by itself. And we're told here, Jesus didn't tell him give away anything. He said, I will give half of my wealth to the poor. And the other half that remains, I can give back anybody I've taken advantage of 4 times. You can imagine the magnitude of his wealth. And Jesus said to him, today, not tomorrow, not next week, today, salvation has come to his house, because he also is a son of Abraham. And the Son of Man has come to seek and save that which is lost. My dear brothers and sisters, that is our mission. That is our purpose. Find somebody, take them to Jesus. That is the biggest superior strategy you can do for someone. And make sure that if you need God, if you need Christ, put yourself in the position where He can become center and He can stop and come to your aid. I want to look at one more example from Mark chapter 2. We're talking about superior strategy, preponderant strategy. Mark chapter 2, verse 1, it reads, "Then again he entered Capernaum after some days, and it was heard that he was in the house. Immediately many gathered together, so that there was no room to receive them, not even near the door. And he preached the word to them." So let's just paint the picture here. Anytime the name and the fame of Jesus was rising and growing, the people were hearing about all the works that he was doing. And were told by the scriptures that when he entered this particular house, people came until it was packed. I see this when I travel, when I'm in Nigeria, when I'm in Zimbabwe, when I'm in Zambia, when I'm in South Africa. When we go and minister, especially in the rural areas or in the remote areas, and we get into some houses, we can have people all over to hear the gospel and to see what God is doing for them. There were so many people in that house. They say that even at the door, there was no room for anyone to come in. However, there were some other people who had made the journey. 4 people who made the journey with their friend, making it the 5th person. And they too needed to see Jesus. But now they did not know that when they get there, they're going to find those who were nearer or closer already there. I don't know. When was the last time you queued up to see Jesus? Or are we all queuing up for the latest cell phone or the latest tablet or something? Latest game. But here we're told about a crowd waiting. Verse 3 of Luke chapter 2. "Then they came to bring a paralytic who was carried by 4 men. And when they could not come near him because of the crowd, they needed superior strategy. Now for many of us would have got there from the outside, just looking in, and saw all the people and said, "Oh no, it's too crowded in there, I'm not going to go. I don't want to be in a place where I'm stuffed up, the AC is not working. I'm not going to be there where people are shoving. Jesus can't hear my business." But they went and found there was a crowd. I imagine this is the Patrick Zimba version. They probably knocked somebody and said, "Excuse me, we've got somebody who's paralyzed. Can we come in?" And the person said, "Yeah, I don't have any eyes. I think you need to wait. When I see him, you can see him. Try to see somebody else. Excuse me. We've got somebody paralyzed. Is it okay if we come in?" "Yeah, sure. I've got cancer. Let me just finish with him, then you can come in. Can you see all these people here?" They couldn't get in because everybody had needs, different reasons, but nobody was going to allow them to go in because all the people in there needed a touch from the Creator. However, superior strategy was needed. These people used the normal strategy to come in, sit, and wait. Jesus was talking. Jesus was doing his thing. They were waiting. But these people couldn't wait. I don't know how far they came. They came from far. They came when everybody was already there. They came what seemed in the natural too late. Too late in the natural. However, they needed to be the first, even though they came last. They needed the attention of Jesus Christ. The Bible then tells us, let's look